لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين وصحبه المنتجبين. It's a great pleasure to be here for the fourth time. Alhamdulillah, 4 successive years. We have received kind invitation from my dear brother, Mufti Farooq, a man that I respect a lot for his knowledge, for his services to the community, and for his open heart and mind. So Alhamdulillah, it's the 4th year that we come together in this place of worship, in this place of serving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His people. And I pray that inshallah this will just continue and expand and never inshallah stops. Before I start my main talk, when I was listening to the translation of the previous speech, unfortunately I don't know Urdu, so I relied on the translation, and I was very happy with the message. And just an idea came to my mind about this famous hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam about the ummah of the Prophet becoming divided into 73 groups, and one group is Najiyah, is the one which is going to be saved, and the other 72 no. Of course, our greatest scholars have lots of discussion about this hadith, about its chain of narration, about its content. But just something came to my mind that maybe one way of looking at this hadith is that we would have different sects, different firqa in Islam. As long as this is a matter of differences of opinion, this is okay. But if people who belong to these sects become sectarian, and that is by putting their sects above God, above Islam, and not letting people who believe in God and Islam to have salvation because they don't belong to their sect, this sectarianism is rejected. We have this beautiful ayah here. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَرَّقُوا دِينَهُمْ. You can belong to a sect, to a farqa, but you cannot be dividing the ummah. So, from every sect of Islam, from every school of Islam, there are people that because of their sects, they don't go to heaven. And from each sect, there is a new group that they belong to the ummah and they are pro-unity. They can be Sunni, Shia, they can be Hanafi, they can be Maliki, Hanbali, Sufi, whatever you call. But if you don't have sectarian mentality, you are Farqiyya Najiyah. Okay, now let's go to my main topic. Last year, I talked about something that I think can be very helpful in the study of Islam. And that was an idea that, alhamdulillah, had come to my mind in Milad al-Nabi last year. And the idea was for Muslim and non-Muslims to be able to understand what is the core message of Islam. It's not enough to just take some verses of the Quran and say, this is what Islam says. For example, a verse which is revealed in the time of peace, or a verse which is revealed in the time of war. None of these 2 verses can be taken as the core message of Islam. What we need is to have holistic but also a structured understanding of Islam. Not just holistic, because it's not enough to put everything together if you don't know how to prioritize. So we need systematic understanding of Islam, which means that it has to be holistic and it has to be structured and organized. So when you want to build a system of thought based on the Quran, what would be your main principles? What would be foundation? What would be something that gives you interpretation of other things? I suggested last year that among the most fundamental verses of the Quran, we have to refer to those verses that talk about Risala, about mission of the Prophet. Any verse that is talking about the mission of the Prophet is of high importance. And under the light of those verses, you have to understand what Rasulullah actually delivered. If we send someone for a mission for 23 years, over these 20 years we have to communicate different things. Maybe he faces some problem in the community. Maybe he faces difficulties, troubles. Maybe he becomes ill. Maybe like Nuh alayhi salam, he has to make a ship and does carpentry. But this doesn't mean that we have sent Nuh for carpentry, or we have sent him to deal with troublemakers. We have to see what was mentioned in the mission statement. Those things that were listed in the mission statement are the most important things that you have to always remember and understand anything else in the light of those things. Therefore, for us, it's very important to give a special attention to the verses about Risala, mission of the Prophet. Plus, it's very important to refer to those verses that talk about the character of this messenger. More than those verses, we talk about what this prophet had to do as an action. Because action should be always understood based on the context, based on the requirements of time and space. What character is universal? For example, in courses on moral philosophy, sometimes I say this example. I say, a time may come that you should not tell the truth. If by telling the truth you can endanger an innocent life, you keep silent. You don't tell the truth because an innocent person might be losing his life. So, telling truth is not always an obligation. Even sometimes obligation is to keep silent. But to be truthful as a trait of character is always needed. You may be a truthful person, but sometimes keep silent. But you may be a person who is not truthful even if you tell the truth. إذا جاءك المنافقون قالوا نشهد إنك لرسول الله والله يعلم إنك لرسوله والله يشهد إن المنافقين لكاذبون. They tell the truth, but they are liars. But a truthful person may sometimes not tell the truth. So, we need to talk about the character of the Prophet. And we need to talk about the message of the Prophet as explained in his mission statement. And then in the light of these two, understand the seerah of the Prophet and the sharia of the Prophet. It's very important. So, let us reflect on some verses of the Quran in Surah Al-Ahzab. We don't have time to discuss all the verses about Risala, but these famous verses. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها النبي إنا أرسلناك. This is exactly what we want. A verse which is talking why Allah sent the Prophet. It's a very important verse. Like وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. That is very important verse. Allah says, O messenger, O prophet, this is what we expect from you. This is what we have defined. This is what we have seen in you that you are able to deliver. First of all, you are shahid. You are a witness. This is a very important concept in the Quran. You know that Allah has, for every generation, has a witness, and on the day of judgment He is going to bring these witnesses. لَنَنْزَعَنَّ مِنْ كُلِّ أُمَّةٍ شَهِيدًا وَجِئْنَا بِكَ عَلَى هَؤُلَاءِ شَهِيدًا. Allah is going to bring all these witnesses. What is this witness doing? Is he just talking? No. His entire personality is a witness. His character is a witness. His actions, his speech and his silence, even the way he looks at people, even the way he listens to people, even the way he walks on the street, all gives lessons to people. And people have to check themselves how much they follow this standard. So Rasulullah is shahidan. He is a mirror for what he teaches. I think it was Lady Aisha that when she was asked about the Prophet, she said very beautifully, كَانَ خُلُقُهُ الْقُرْآنِ. The Prophet was not just reciting the Quran. The Prophet was not just teaching the Quran. The Prophet was an embodiment of the Quran. And this is why Quran says, وَالنُّورَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ مَعَهُ, not أُنزِلَ إِلَيْهِ. Although it is correct to say أُنزِلَ إِلَيْهِ, but the Prophet is so close to the Quran that Allah says أُنزِلَ مَعَهُ. The Prophet is not someone who is lacking nur and then Allah has just given him nur. The Prophet himself is a source of nur and he has been given nur. And this is why we later say Sirajan Munira. إِنَّا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ شَاهِدًا. So who is a good Muslim? The one who just is claiming or pretending to be Muslim, or the one who, like the Prophet, is an embodiment of Islamic teachings? We are not a good Muslim unless when people see us, they can see in us at least fragrance of the Prophet. If you are not a rose flower, at least we should smell like rose. At least the perfume of the Prophet should come from what we say and what we do. So, shahida wa mubashir. The Prophet is a mubashir. The Prophet is to give people good news. The Prophet is to give people hope. But unfortunately, there are people who don't take this seriously unless you give them warning. So, وَنَذِيرًا. So he is mubashir, but at the same time, وَنَذِيرًا. Then, وَدَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ. And this is very important. I will come back to this. It's very, very important. دَاعِيًا إِلَى اللَّهِ بِإِذْنِهِ. What does it mean? And inshallah, this will be my gift for today to my brothers and sisters. We come back to this point. وَسِرَاجًا مُنِيرًا. The Prophet is Siraj, but not a Siraj which is now switched off. Not a Siraj that sometimes gives light, sometimes doesn't give light. For example, during the day, when there is enough light, you switch off your light. In the night, you switch on the light. No, the Prophet is a siraj which 24 hours, 7 days a week is giving light. Siraj and Munira. Why he is able to give always light? What is the secret? The Quran explains what's the secret. The secret is because Allah is constantly sending salutations to him. Allah. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. Allah, along with his angels, constantly sends salutation to the Prophet. This gives him salawat. This salawat gives him nur. Why? Because he says, هو الذي يصلي عليكم وملائكته ليخرجكم من الظلمات إلى النور. If anyone is receiving salutations from Allah and angels, he would be moving towards light. And if this is constantly being done, he becomes a source of light. So he's Siraj al-Munir. And then again Allah says, وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Bishara is very important. You cannot attract people towards Islam by just frightening them. We have to invest more on spreading the good news, and warning is for criminals. If you want to attract people to students to the school, it should be with love. We have in Farsi this poem. We say, درس معلم گر بود زمزمه محبتی. درس معلم گر بود زمزمه محبتی. جمعه به مکتب آورد طفل گریزپار. If Mu'allim is giving love, even a child who always runs away from school, on Jumu'ah, which is a holiday, comes to school. To see maybe the teacher is in the school. Let me see in Jumu'ah, has he come to the school for something so that I can see him? This is if the teacher is giving love. وَبَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ بِأَنَّ لَهُم مِّنَ اللَّهِ فَضْلًا كَبِيرًا. My dear brothers and sisters who are practicing Islam, who are committed to true Islam, who are committed to the message of love and sacrifice of Islam, you don't know how much Allah is going to honor, how much Allah is going to give. بَشِّرِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ بأن لهم من الله فضلا كبيرا. If Allah says something is fazl, it is not like me and you doing something for each other and say this was a favor. But Allah says something is fazl, and then He says it is fadlan kabira. No mu'min would be seeing what Allah gives him in heaven unless he will be totally surprised and shocked. Oh Allah, I don't deserve this. How much you are giving to me? So you have great position in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just make sure that inshallah you preserve your iman, you preserve your commitment. And then Allah says, وَلَا تُطِعِ الْكَافِرِينَ وَالْمُنَافِقِينَ وَدَعْ اللَّهَ وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ وَكِيلًا. This is the mission statement. Look at it, it's very important. Unfortunately, we didn't get the message. In the mission statement, the Prophet doesn't say, جَاهِدِ الْكُفَّارَ وَالْمُنَافِقِينَ. This is not mission statement. In mission statement, it says, لَا تُطِعِ الْكُفَّارَ وَالْمُنَافِقِينَ. The Prophet didn't come to fight. The Prophet came and Allah said, don't obey them. Do your own work. Even if they trouble, da'adahum. Even you don't need as much as possible to react. Don't let them provoke you. Focus on your work. Unfortunately, some of us looks like, we are looking for people to challenge us and then we fight them. Like that person who was follower of Musa alayhi salam. That every day he was finding him fighting with someone. We don't want to be like that. Even if someone wants to fight you, say, I have something more important. I don't let you distract me from my work. I am a teacher. I am a doctor. Why you want to keep me fighting with you? And if he doesn't let you go to the school, if he doesn't let you to see the patients, then that's the time that you have to defend yourself. But you are a doctor, you are a teacher. Rasulullah is a mu'allim, he's a tabib, he's not a warrior. Although he had some time to defend himself. Nuh was not a najjar, but he had some time to make them treat. So what is in the statement is لا تطع الكفار والمنافق. That's the principle. That's the strategy. Although tactically, sometimes you may need to do other things. وَدَعَّهُمْ. Even if they annoy you, as long as this is not stopping your function, let it go. إِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ مَرُّوا كِرَامًا. You don't need to fight in every battle. Don't let people to waste your energy and take you away from your serious mission. وَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is sufficient. Okay, now let's go back to da'iyan ila Allah bi-idhni and finish my talk. What does it mean, da'iyan ila Allah bi-idhni? Maybe we need one conference on this. What we are supposed to do in our da'wah. It's very important. According to the Quran, da'wah should be inviting people to Allah and not to me. We should invite people to Allah. Imam Khomeini used to say, if 124,000 prophets, they all live together, they would have no fight. They would be maximum unity, there would be maximum unity among them. 124,000 prophets. Why? Because none of them invited people to himself. They invited people to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ not أَدْعُو إِلَى نَفْسِي. We have to call people towards Allah. It can be when he comes closer to me or he doesn't come closer to me. The main thing is that he should get closer to Allah. If I as a Shia and you as a Sunni, we help Muslims from other schools of Islam in their relation with Allah, isn't this a sacred mission? Or I have to convert him and then I say, okay, I have done something. If I help my Sunni children, my Sunni young members of community to get closer to Islam, to know more about their faith, to practice more, they go to mosque more, isn't this a mission for me as a Shia scholar? And if we Muslims help Christians and Jews in their relation with God, so that instead of stopping to go to church or synagogue and going, just to become atheist, if we can help them to move towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, isn't this a sacred mission? We have our identity. We are proud of our identity. But our identity has value as long as it helps us moving towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If that identity is going to replace Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَرَّقُوا دِينَهُمْ. This is shirk. Only Allah matters. And then everyone has found the best way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I should help everyone to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I should appreciate every person who is working in this world to spread name of Allah. If Allah is remembered, that's the main thing. Then inshallah, when that heart is connected to Allah, Allah knows what to do with that heart. First, connect people to Allah. You know, we have in our mystical literature a story. I don't know how true it is that the story, but sometimes these are inspirational stories. It is said that there was an idol worshipper who always worshipped idols. And he used to have his own zikr, his own invocations. Ya Sanam, Ya Sanam. Sanam is idol. Once mistakenly he said Ya Sanam. Allah said Labbaik. Allah is looking for excuse to take the hand of people. And unfortunately, some of us look for excuse to keep people away from God.
MashaAllah.
As a servant of God, you should be more than happy. More people go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let me ask you one question.
MashaAllah.
If you have a great personality in your life, a teacher, a mu'allim, a peer, a murad, whatever, you love him very much, and now he has come to Birmingham, and you want more people see him, you want more people benefit from him. What do? Would you keep him for yourself only? Say, it's better not to say anyone that he is here, because if other people come, then I have less time with him. Let me have monopoly over him. I keep it for myself. Or I only tell my very close friends that he is here. I don't want any other people. For example, imagine, let's go one level more, higher. If Rasulullah was here, are you going to hide him in your own mosque? I only show Rasulullah to people of my mosque. Or I only let other Muslims come, but I never let Christians to come and see Rasulullah. Or you would go instead everywhere in the town and try to take people's hand to come and see Rasulullah in your place, because you think you just need to connect them to Rasulullah. You don't say, you can come and see Rasulullah, but first you have to say Shahadatin. If you don't say Shahadatin, I don't let you see Rasulullah. Or if you are a Muslim from another sect, if you don't distance yourself from your sect and accept my sect, I don't let you to see Rasulullah. No. If you really know Rasulullah, if you really love Rasulullah, if you know that he belongs to everyone, you don't put conditions for people. You say to people, whatever you believe is between you and Allah, and you have to answer to Allah. It's not my business. Can I help you to see Rasulullah? And if there is no enough space, you remain outside. You remain next to the door and let other people see Rasulullah. Because you know Rasulullah's love for you is not reduced by distance. They say, let other people get closer to him. I am not important. But we want to stand next to Rasulullah. We want to decide on behalf of Rasulullah who is going to meet, who is not we should meet. This is not fair. So, da'iyan ila Allah. Think about it. Da'wah should be ila Allah. As long as there is a little مثقال ذرة من خردل من ego, This is not da'wah ila Allah. If there is ego, it's not da'wah ila Allah. It's da'wah ila nafs. Whether this is personal ego, is it tribal ego, is racist ego, is sectarian ego, it's ego. Da'wah should be ila Allah. But Rasulullah's da'wah is different from our da'wah. That's the last point. Everyone can call people towards God. But when called people towards God, success is not guaranteed. I may call people towards God, and then I cannot say this person certainly is going to reach destination, because I myself have not reached the destination. And even if someone has reached destination, it doesn't guarantee that he can take people with him. But we have people that Allah has appointed to go back to people. This is the journey that mystics say, that after you reaching haqq, then you go back to people to take people towards haqq. So Allah has people that sends them to take people towards Him. It's very different. You know, someone comes to me and says, Sheikh, I want to see Mufti Farooq. Where is his address? If I know that he doesn't mind, I can give the address. But this doesn't mean that he would open his door to him. He may not open his door to him. If I give Allah's address, it doesn't mean that he would reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and would be maximum nearness with Allah. But if Rasulullah takes people towards the door of Allah, the door before he arrives is open. Why? Because he is da'yan in Allah bi'idhnihi. Allah has sent him to find people and bring to me. Is it possible that Allah sends someone to bring people to me and then he says, I don't want to see them? This is also the concept of shafa'ah. مَنْ ذَا الَّذِي يَشْفَعُ عِنْدَهُ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. There are people who are permitted to do shafa'ah. Many people are not permitted to do shafa'ah. And even if they do shafa'ah, shafa'ah is not going to work. But those who are given permission, those who have izn, it's impossible that the shafa'ah will be rejected. Is Quran shafa'ah going to be rejected? Rasulullah said, إِذَا الْتَبَسَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْفِطَرِ كَقِطَعِ اللَّيْلِ الْمُظْلِمِ فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالْقُرْآنِ فَإِنَّهُ شَافِعٌ مُشَفَّعٌ. Quran shafa'ah is not going to be rejected. Don't worry about Quran shafa'ah for you being rejected. Just worry whether you get the shafa'ah of Quran or not. Don't worry about shafa'ah of the Prophet being rejected or not. Worry about receiving shafa'ah of the Prophet. Rasulullah is the one who calls people towards Allah and has authorization from Allah. داعيا إلى الله بإذنه. This is Rasulullah. Just make sure that Rasulullah accepts you. If Rasulullah accepts you, Allah accepts you. This is my message. And I don't think Rasulullah would accept anyone who is dividing his ummah. I don't think Rasulullah would be pleased with anyone who is ruining the power, the beauty, the attraction of Islam by calling for sectarianism, for separation, for division. If you work for unity, if you work for Allah to be the main, if you work for kalimatullah to be ulya, not your kalima, not your people's kalima, even not your sex kalima, only Allah's kalima to be ulya. If you sacrifice your comfort, if you overcome your emotions and go and work with people of other communities, other denominations, other religions, so that everyone goes towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this age that millions of people are going away from God altogether. Not just away from Islam, not just away from Christianity. We have never had such high percentage of atheists in the world. If you work for faith, if you work for values that Allah has prescribed humanity, inshallah Rasulullah will agree with you. I thank again all of you for showing your dedication to the message of the Prophet, but with such beautiful understanding of the need for unity, for being open in our heart, in our mind. And I pray that inshallah all of you will prosper in every matter, in every affair of your life, inshallah, worthy, but more importantly, inshallah, in your journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Thank you very much. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.
MashaAllah.